Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life.
Back to another episode of Next to Madison. I'm your host, Madison Malloy, and on this episode, we are talking all things injections, Botox, lasers, anything to make you look better, feel better, look younger. There is so much stuff out there. We are getting overwhelmed. Choosing the right skin procedure to make you look better and build collagen is almost like choosing a movie on Netflix. You don't do it because there's too much to choose from. So in this episode, we're breaking down all the differences, different concerns, different things you can do. I have a wonderful guest on who has been in this business for years and years and years and is now starting her own company called Beauty Advisors Group, which will provide you with virtual consultations that will tell you exactly what you need and also give you access to the best injectors or plastic surgeons out there, because we don't want to completely change who we are. We want to look like the best versions of ourselves, because when we look good, we feel good. And when we feel good and we look good, we tend to make more money. So it is a very important thing. If you're a guy, don't tune out, because guys, you guys can do lasers. You can do things for your skin because you want to look good too. And everybody deserves to look good. So this is a very fun educational episode. We can talk about lip fillers and how it compares to this skin on your ass and if it bounces back if you do too much. And so it's actually a fun episode. So I hope you enjoy. We'll be right back after this brief message with our guest.
Hey, it's Madison Malloy. Just wanted to remind you to make sure you grab a copy of my book, Time to Lighten the Fuck Up. It is a great, funny self-help book that is going to help you get out of your own way. I have already helped thousands and thousands of people, and they are on their way to living their dream life, and I want every listener to be able to live their dream life as well. So grab a copy of the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or even the audiobook on Audible. Now back to the show.
All right, we are back on this very exciting episode. We are talking Botox, fillers, beauty, plastic surgery. Anything that God gave you that you don't like, you can now change in this very plastic world. I'm just kidding. Aging and how we look and how we feel is so important to our confidence. So I am so excited about today's guest because she is going to be breaking down all the different procedures you can do and telling us about her fantastic business, which is called the Beauty Advisors Group. I'd like to welcome to the show, Jodi Schwartz. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am
Thank you
good.
so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited because I feel that everybody wants to look good, no matter what their age is. So the rise in procedures, whether it's plastic surgery or fillers or Botox. But the problem is you're getting a lot of people that are starting to look a little weird because they're not going to the appropriate people, and the appropriate people are just shoving them with shit in their face. So I want to kind of just like break this down into tranches. So I want to start with Botox, which everybody knows about. Men are now getting this as well. How do you I always get nervous when I get Botox, like all mine's gone. You can't see because of my light, but because it's like some people do it and it lasts. Some people don't put enough and it doesn't. And you don't want to do it too much because then your body's too used to it and then it doesn't last and it's so expensive. I'm like, how have they not lowered the price of this bullshit? So let's talk about that. Like which Botox should you get? How do you find somebody that's going to stab you right? All that good stuff.
Well, I think the thing is there's more than one Botox now. So there was originally one Botox Cosmetic, and then other competitors came along like Dysport, Juvo, and Zeman. So I think the most important thing is that you go to somebody that's accredited, whether it be a dermatologist that it has been training with Botox for a long time, or a plastic surgeon, somebody that's been doing this, and you can ask them, like, how many procedures have you done? Because what you want is a natural look. You don't want, like you said before, that abnormal kind of unnatural look where like one eyebrow is too high. So it really is, really is an art. And it's an art that they need to be practicing. So if you're going to a dermatologist and they're like, I do one a week, that's different than going to another doctor that does 70 a week, right? With all of that repetition comes gaining knowledge, what works and what doesn't for the patient.
So I want you to go, you mentioned 4 different products. I want you to go through like, what is the difference between those and how do you know what's best for you? Like, how do you choose?
Yeah, it's actually a good question. So I worked for Botox for 15 years, so I will always choose Botox just
Okay.
because I've always had it. I know it works for me. I know it works well. They're all botulinum toxin type A. So it's not like if it doesn't work for you for one of them, it's not going to work for any of them. They're all the same molecule type. The difference is what happens when that molecule goes into the skin. So some of them disperse a little bit more, some of them don't last as long, and some of them claim, they work faster, but it really is, I think it's whatever your doctor is the most comfortable with. And I believe Botox has had the most procedures, obviously, because it's been around the longest. So, I think it's really important to talk to your physician or your injector. You could be a nurse injector, you could be an NP injector, but really
Yeah.
going to someone who's board certified and that is their craft, right? They
Okay.
do that all the time, not as a side gig.
Yeah, because some of these are priced differently too.
Very much so.
So would it make sense to be like, okay, I want the cheaper one and it's still going to give you the same results?
If that doctor or that injector is that good at that less expensive one and is getting you great results, yes.
So
But
even though the molecule is the same,
they're
how they
similar.
inject it makes all the
They're
difference.
because they're similar. They all have different, when you put the saline in them, they all have different consistencies, but it's really whatever your doctor prefers. And some doctors carry more than one Botox.
All
They
right,
carry
now
Dysport,
I
so it
want
gets
to
more
talk about my
confusing.
biggest fear when I go to somebody I don't really know. Watered down product.
I mean, there is just like you would take, 200 milligrams of Advil, right? There is a dose. So there is a dosing guideline that the doctor or the injector should be following. So if it's Botox, it would be 20 units into the glabella. But a unit, for the regular layperson wouldn't know what a unit is, but the doctor knows 20 units is for this area. 10
Like
or
the
12 is for
forehead.
this area. Forehead's different. It's another 20 units.
So how do
So
they know how much to use? I mean, not
well, they use their
everyone's gonna use
eye.
20.
They use their eye. They go by the dose. So if it's 20 units, typically they'll put 20 units down. Now, there is a lot of talk about watered down Botox or
Yeah.
Botox that didn't last.
Yes.
That's just a doctor that maybe didn't give you enough. Your Botox should last a good 3 to 4 months.
And if it doesn't, then you should write a bad review to get these people to
No,
start
because
doing
then
it.
you should go back you should go back to the doctor and
Then they
tell
just charge
them.
you more. You're like, how about you just do it right the first time, you idiot?
Well, I mean, they are trained in it, and there are people that, say that they're really good at it, something, and maybe they're not. That's why it's really important that you, as a consumer, do your homework. So, what I've
Yeah.
done with my company also is that I'll now take virtual consultations. So, say you want to come to me and you're like, Jodi, I'm so over the way my forehead looks. We can spend an hour talking about what are your different options. Maybe it's Botox, so maybe the skin's gotten too crepey, and it's also time for another modality like a laser or radio frequency microneedling. So there's
Yeah.
so many different ways to take care of texture, tone, wrinkles. But Botox is, it's like getting your hair done. You love the way that they did your highlights, but it only takes one wrong time and then you don't like it again. That's why you go to the same hairdresser. You try to
Yeah.
stay with the same provider
Yeah.
if you like their results.
No, that makes sense. All right, now let's move on to the fun stuff that people are so confused about. And I feel like, okay, you mentioned, let's talk about lasers. Because lasers, I think, are so key and like what the difference is. Because people will say, like, oh, I want to look younger and be resurfaced. Okay, well, what are those? I want to look lifted. Well, what are those? Like, let's go through, like, I
There
want
are
people listening to
so
this to be
many.
educated and be like, oh, I'm going to go and check out this.
Right. So there's hundreds of lasers, right?
Yeah.
So for the face, one of the gold standard is the CO2 laser. That's like the Mac Daddy. That's the
Okay.
one where if I want to go in and I've had 20 years of sun damage, my skin looks horrible, and I've done nothing to my skin, or it could be once a year I do a CO2 because I don't want to look like that in 20 years.
Yeah.
So that's, you want to do a deeper laser at least like once a year, but then there's other ways to also get to the same issue, have that resolved. You can try what's hot right now is RF microneedling. So that's
Yeah.
where they put little punctures in your skin. And then it actually, as it's tightening and healing, it actually creates a tightness and it can lift your face as well. There's other lasers that truly only treat, say that you have a lot of brown spots on your face and you want to have clear porcelain type skin, you would go to an IPL or something like that. Now, if you had laser hair removal, say you had a little mustache, you wanted to get rid of that, or
I've
or
never
if you
heard
wanted
anyone
to go
pronounce it that way.
a mustache, or if you wanted to laser your legs and get that, there's laser hair removal. So all of them work on different lengths of light. There's lasers for brown spots, red spots, there's lasers for veins. So it really depends. And you want to go to somebody, especially, most of the lasers you don't want to go in the sun before. There are some that you can, but you really want to go to a laser specialist, someone that's been using lasers for a really long time, or
Yeah.
they've trained with someone that's because lasers, you can get burned.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's the scariest thing.
So what's the one you can do? Because I've tried to do IPL on my chest again, and I use fake tanner, or somehow the sun gets through my sunscreen, and the person's like, "I'm gonna burn you if I do it. I can't do it." So I haven't been able to do anything. Sorry, I'm like all red. And I'm frustrated. Like, what's the one you can do with a tan that's gonna smooth out this area?
I would probably do RF microneedling over there. That's what I'm doing on Thursday. I'm going to do my neck because
I
my
did
face.
Morpheus, and I don't know if I liked it. It was where I'm telling people, I'm like, don't do it. It's so much
Was it?
pain and not enough gain. You might as well get a fucking facelift. Seriously.
Well, I mean, it
Because there's
is
not enough
not
left.
one for the lighthearted. It is one of the stronger RF
So,
microneedling. It is a little bit, if
yeah.
anyone from Morpheus is on, just make sure you do your numbing. I'm doing
I
another
took
one
pain
next.
pills.
Well, you need topical numbing. You could do Pronox. You can
And they
do
did
pain
injections. I had
pills.
a really good, I told everybody never, ever, ever get Morpheus unless you can bring in your own pain pills. They inject you with lidocaine and numbing cream and give you Pronox because you will not be able to get through it.
It
And it's
is, it is an arduous procedure. I personally have
oh,
not done that one. I've done 2 other RF microneedling and I have another one on Thursday. So,
so let's talk
um,
about the Laser Genius one. That one's supposed to be all the rage and has more needles. It's like a better Morpheus.
there's 17 RF microneedling devices out on the field.
Oh God, what's the best one? Don't tell me Morpheus.
There really isn't one. I mean, the Morpheus is known to be more painful. The manufacturers know that. But there's ways to take care of that pain. So if you go to the doctor, you're like, "Oh, I'm going to do Morpheus, and I heard it's really painful." Make sure they give you more numbing cream or Pronox or
Anesthesia.
another pain pill. Yeah, but the other ones, they only go down from like, maybe a millimeter to 3 millimeters into the skin. So that's a lot where like kind of the epidermis, that where it's very sensitive. So
Yeah.
it also depends on different body parts. So if you're going on chest and you're slim, you're right near the bone. So it's
I
going to
know.
hurt more. So like I'm doing one of the RF devices just on my neck because I'm going to do a different laser that works with plasma on my face, which is a newer technology where they
What's that one
use
called?
nitrogen and it doesn't break through. All of these lasers break through the epidermis. This one works by gas and then it goes through the epidermis into the dermis and works almost from the underside up or from the outside in.
So what's that called?
That one is a plasma device. So it's a different modality of getting a laser result, but it's not using light. It's using nitrogen and oxygen.
So there's probably not a lot of downtime.
There's lowered risk of downtime. Like I just did it on my hands on like
Oh wow.
2 days ago and it hasn't peeled or anything, but we went very low. I wanted to try it out. It might be one of the products that I'm representing. So
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's a benefit of being in your field is that you get to try out all these things versus spending
it is
thousands of dollars
true.
on them and getting zero results. Morpheus is going to hear from me one day.
Well, I hope they don't need to call me.
I'll be like, you guys suck. And it wasn't my girl. She was so good. She put the body tip on my lower face, and I still don't really see a difference.
It
But
takes multiple sessions, and you don't need a
yeah,
facelift.
I had three a month apart.
You look great though.
I know, but I want to look perfect.
I mean, you could do jawline filler.
No,
That's something we
no,
haven't
that
talked
looks
about.
fucking weird. It looks weird. I saw some
Really.
girl on a bar with it, and I was like, that needs to be taken off the market immediately. It looks awful. It
But
doesn't look, it looks like a
that's
cartoon.
but that's per the injector. I have
Yeah.
jawline filler,
Yeah, yours looks more natural.
but I went to an injector that is known for doing jawline.
Yeah, I did Morpheus because I don't want to do jawline filler. I want to do permanent fixes, not band-aids. And I feel like fillers are band-aids. They do the job, but they're just a band-aid.
Well, this one I use a filler that lasts 2 years.
Which what in your like chin in your jaw?
I did. I didn't do my chin. We just did jawline. We did Voluma, which I
Yeah.
launched, so I know that Voluma lasts a long time.
So okay, so when you're messing down there, is that go in the chin too?
It does
That lasts 2 years?
up to 2 years. So, like again, like how we talked about dosing. Remember,
Yeah.
200 milligrams if you want Aleve or Advil. If you're not going to go to the appropriate dose and get it injected to full correction, you're going to need more the next time. The idea is kind of like you go to full correction, and then the next time you come back in, you don't need as much because you already have some there.
Gotcha.
And
Okay,
it
that
goes
makes sense.
along the natural structure of your jawline. So if you're really concerned about this, I would go here first because
Like
that
right
will
here.
help pull it back. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
And
and then
it's
what is
immediate.
and
And
then
then you could do another RF machine after a couple weeks. You
mm,
always want to wait like 2 weeks in between different modalities.
so the Morpheus though, they actually said I didn't have any filler at the time, thank God, but it actually can melt the filler.
It can if it's
Yeah.
that deep.
Yeah. So I was like, oh well, thank God I didn't have any in my face at the time. But I was trying to do Morpheus to never have to do filler. And now I'm like,
You
eh,
can't really exclude one without doing the other because it's kind of
yeah,
like, RF microneedling doesn't just pull the skin back, it increases collagen, elastin, it smooths out your pores. Filler's not going to do that. So you need multiple different modalities depending on what your area of concern is. So say, like for me, when I did my RF microneedling, the one thing I noticed was that my skin quality looked so much better. And
yeah,
everyone was like, your skin looks great, Jodi. And I know it's because I did that. When everyone else is like, oh, your jawline looks great or your lips look great, I know it's because I did something else. So you're not looking at like one answer for everything. You need to
yeah.
go to a doctor or, an injector or a PA that's really versed in all cosmetic applications.
Yeah, so the moral of the story is if you're not super rich right now, you better get rich because this shit's expensive and you got to do it all.
This shit is expensive, but if you go to an appropriate doctor, they
Yes.
can lay out a treatment plan for you. And that's what I'm going to do on my virtual spa is that I'm going to, people say, well, what's your budget? Say you have 5,000 for 6 months. Okay, what's going to give you the most bang for your buck, right?
Yeah.
It might be cheek filler. That's always a great bang for your buck. You look great. It helps with the under eyes. It lifts up the skin. It tightens the face. But then maybe you want to do a little bit of IPL on your chest. So it really depends. I always like
Yeah, I need
to
my
make
chest.
like a cosmetic calendar, like what it is you want to achieve first. What are your biggest concerns? And then what can we add along the way?
Okay, no, that makes absolute sense. All right, let's talk about the thing that keeps showing up on my little TikTok. I don't know. I'm not searching for it, but somehow the algorithm has me pegged. It's like a trending thing now for people to be like, come with me to get lip filler. And I'm like, you idiot. When you get lip filler, you're supposed to go so nobody knows you have lip filler. You're just supposed to be like, yeah, I woke up sexier. You're supposed to tell the world you have lip filler, you idiot. I'm like, stop telling people. But apparently these videos are going viral and they keep showing up. So let's talk about lip filler because nobody looks natural anymore. So how do we look better with lip filler? Because I've been thinking about getting it, but every time I tell my guy friend, they're like, ew, we hate lip fillers. They're so gross, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah,
all
but
the
the
women are
guys
like,
will
we
love
don't
it
care.
too. Yeah. I mean, I'm a queen of lip filler. I like my lips a certain way. I know when I want more, because you know what, I always look when those little wrinkles come in. I call
Yeah.
them lipstick kind of lines. When those come in, that means that you are, in my opinion, it's time for lip filler because you want to have smooth lipstick, you want to be plump, you want it. All of these hyaluronic, if it's now, there's different types of filler. There's hyaluronic acid. What now that attracts water, it's naturally occurring in your skin. So I will put hyaluronic acid in my cheeks, in my nasolabial fold, and also in my lips. So there's also, you know, when we say we want to go to a certain doctor or a certain PA or a certain nurse practitioner or a nurse in some states, because it depends on the state and what specialty can inject you as well. You want to let them know that you want a very natural looking lip because you can always add more.
Right. No, exactly. Always start with less and then build up, and then you'll know. Because, I don't think it fully wears off. And then all of a sudden you're getting the
No,
same
it
amount and
doesn't.
you look like a duck.
And at the
Not
same
to happen.
time, you want to look at the doctor's before and after pictures. You want to see that the doctor has your style of lip, like of what, some people like to do what's called like the Russian tenting, where they get like a really nice curl over here. And that's done with like little pokes. For me, that's not my favorite technique for my lips. I like just a fuller lip. So we'll use one needle here and one needle here, and it'll just be a nice soft lip filler. Younger girls right now, especially millennials, they like that kind of very over exaggerated lip. I think it should be more natural and not stand out before your lips make an entrance.
I know you've seen some of these girls. It's so funny. I was talking to a friend of mine. He was like, I had this wonderful date with this girl last night, but her lips were so big. I just had to get rid of her because I can't bring that home to my mother. She would flip out. And I'm like, but the problem is you're never going to find a girl who doesn't have lip filler because it's become so popular.
It is really popular.
Yeah, so it's all about looking natural. You don't want to look like you have it. You just want to look like better than you. Now, here's two concerns. Migration. How the hell do you, because I've seen people where it's like up here or like
Yeah.
pulling down, they have a huge upper lip. It's not aging well.
So I like to call that again the filler mustache.
Well, how do you prevent that shit?
There is an enzyme called hyaluronidase that can break down. I just saw one taken down yesterday.
The
What's today?
mustache?
Yeah, the mustache. I just saw one where you can inject it and it dissolves the filler automatically.
But did they have to get their lip redone?
No, because it migrated up.
Oh, so
Because
they
if
were
you think
able
about it,
they were able to just poke it right there and not dissolve what's in the
yes,
lip?
yes,
Oh shit. I didn't know
yeah.
that you had to dissolve the whole thing and start over.
No, and then there's other doctors that are really good at hyaluronidase and other doctors that don't really know because that you need to go to a doctor that knows how to use hyaluronidase because that's another way that you can, make your face look a little off. So you want to go to a doctor that's what they do. They don't have like one hyaluronidase vial for like the whole year, but they're using, you know what
They're
I mean?
doing it all
Somebody
the time,
that's
yeah.
right. Like a lot of people, they don't like their filler, so they'll go to a different doctor and they'll dissolve it. But then the doctor that they dissolve it with, you know, should know a bit about dissolving filler so that there's no like divots or stuff like that. But dissolving lip filler is common.
So how do you prevent migration?
You can't. Well, I guess I don't say you can't, right? Because if you
Wouldn't it
think about the
be,
mouth, it's a sphincter, so you're constantly moving it, right?
yeah.
You're constantly pushing the filler. So you can't avoid migration, but it all comes with really good placement of the filler, right?
So
So
a
if they're
good
putting
injector.
a good injector is the key here for all of it, and a good person with the lasers that really knows different skin types because
Yeah.
I might be a skin type 2, but a darker person might be a skin type 4 or 5, and they need to go to a doctor or a provider that actually knows how to treat that type of skin. So you really want to look at your doctors before and afters before you actually go in to see that doctor, or when they get there they can say, oh, I did this person, and the doctors have a lot of books in terms of, oh, I did this person's breasts, or I did this girl's lips, I did this person's
Yes.
cheeks. So you want to understand the style of the doctor.
Okay, now let's talk about the fun part, which is the scary part. Hopefully there'll be more procedures coming out. All these young people doing the lip fillers, you're stretching your lips. It's like stretching your asshole. It's not totally gonna go back. So
I mean, you'd
if
be
you take it
surprised.
out, are
It
you
does
gonna
go
have like
back.
these balloony lips? Is it gonna look like like how are these girls gonna look when they're 60 if they started at 22? That's my concern.
I mean, I've been doing lip filler for 15 years and like everyone
Like
around
before it
me is doing
existed
it.
almost.
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
But I don't think that your lips, your skin retracts. I mean, that's like saying, a woman had a baby and then the skin just stays
Yeah.
there,
No,
right?
well, they usually stitch them up, but yeah.
They stitch them up, but I mean, and there's a way for the elastin and the collagen. Plus, you're creating little damage in the skin, so you're tightening that skin. So I wouldn't worry that you're gonna have like a lifeless lip.
Yeah, like a like loose skin on your lips just hanging
No,
around.
that's not
I'm
gonna
sure there'll
happen.
be some laser that comes out that tightens that shit up. I'm surprised they don't have something now that just like naturally punctures it to where you build so much collagen that it's natural.
I mean, theoretically, it's RF microneedling right now, but there's 17 devices out there, so there's a lot to choose from.
I did Vivace, not a lot of downtime, not a lot of results. But if you want something to make yourself feel better on paper, go for it. Morpheus, most painful. I'm really interested in the Laser Genius though. I've seen some videos on that and I'm like, that looks
The
cool.
Genius, I think I'm getting that done on Thursday.
So you have to text me and let me know
I
like
will.
how that
I've
is.
done it before. It definitely works in tightening. The thing is with any of these is that you want to stay up with them. If they say you're going to need, 3 or 4 treatments,
Exactly. Yeah.
you want it. Now, the other thing that I did today, which I'm a big fan of, is like, when I'm getting ready for your show, I'm like, okay, well, I can't really do a laser because what if I, don't look that good on TV? I don't want to do that. So, like, I was struggling with what I think is red carpet ready,
Okay.
right? So, what I did today was I did an oxygen facial with
Okay.
hydrofacial, right? So they do, and also dermal planing. So that no risk,
Oh, is
no
that
down.
where they like get the peach fuzzy off your face?
Right. They take the
Okay.
razor, they scrape the epidermis off. And then they follow that up by, sucking out the pores and then infusing oxygen. How does it
Well,
look?
you look fabulous.
But
I mean, in your
that's like a
business, you
no
can't afford
downtime
not to look
procedure,
fabulous. So keep
right?
it up.
I do tend to get a treatment every week.
Oh my God. Well, I'm sure they've hooked you up because I was going to say, you must be real rich to afford that shit. Uh,
No, I'm not, but thanks. I'm trying to be.
no, but I think it's good. Like, I need to start working on my body. I want to become like bigger so I can get it paid for. You know, be
Well, I
like,
just I just left. I did
sponsor my
MSK.
show, sponsor me, and you can use me as your body type.
I'm sure we can when you come to the city. I'm sure we could find you a modeling gig to do as a trial patient.
I would love that. They need my chest. I need my neck and my face have been good about. I had
The
IPL on this
chest is
years
hard.
ago,
I mean,
and it was great.
nothing like a CO2 to really get that puppy. But you're talking a week downtime.
Right, and I can't do that in the summer, so probably the fall. Okay,
You
so
do
let's.
not want to do that in the summer because
Oh,
then you
hell
can't
no.
go in the sun afterwards either.
Exactly. So I'll do that like January. That's like January, like when you don't want to go
But
outside.
you could do a clear and brilliant and start, getting it ready. There's not as much downtime. There's less severe grades of lasers that you can do that it not as much downtime. I think the key here and all of my, I've been working with derms and plastics and med spa owners and nurses for a very long time is the key is wearing your sunscreen
Yes.
because
And
the chest happens
yeah,
to get that
I know.
sun
Like get
first.
sun. And I don't think I put it on today. I'm like red because I scratched myself. Um, but I always try to put it here. I didn't for years though, until I went in to get some Botox from a doctor in New York years ago. And he's like, you need to start wearing SPF on your chest every day. I can tell you wear it on your face, but you're missing something. And so
Yep.
I started doing that. And then I did an IPL and like, what a difference. And then I wanted to go back for another one. And she was like, you're tan. I'm like, I don't tan. It's self tanner. But I think I've been doing self tanner so long, it's like stuck in my pores. So I
You
have
might
to
want to
find something
alcohol
I
it
can
off.
do. I did everything. Did everything.
I think rubbing alcohol takes self tanner off.
That's why I'm like, she's like, I'll burn you. And I'm like, okay, so it's not
You
IPL
will.
then. Yeah. So I have to find something else where you can be tan to get the splotches off.
I would just say don't go in the sun for a while and don't put self tanner on and then just let an IPL. I mean, IPL is gold standard, right? It's going to
Yeah.
get rid of your brown spots.
I probably should just wait till the fall on that too, because it's coming up to
Yeah.
summer. And maybe I'll just do my microneedle thing at home with retinol every 3 days or 2 days, because I don't want to make it too thin, and see if that kind of helps.
Well, I would say, leave your doctor stuff to the doctor.
Yeah, true.
One of my favorite facial plastic surgeons, she has a cup that says, "Don't mistake your Google for search for my MD, my
hmm
MD."
hmm
For my piece of paper that I graduated from. And
Well,
she's
yeah,
right. Everyone's in the
totally.
bathroom doing like bathroom surgery and like you know what I mean? Like everyone makes their own stuff up, but that's not how it works. Like there are reasons for everything that we do. So for me, like I like M sculpting. I like body tightening machines. So like I'll go and do an M sculpt machine. And that's just because I'm like lazy and I don't want to work out. I'm sure the M school people are happy. Hi, it's Jodi. Um,
You know, right? I was gonna say, I can't wait to get real rich, and then I won't have to go to the gym. I'm sitting there doing planks, making myself miserable.
well, I mean, or have time to go to the gym is also another option. But
Yes, because I
so
like the
many
gym.
different things you can do. I mean, if you want to just work on your face, your skin looks great. You want to keep it up, make sure that you're doing something every year to help turn over your skin. Because as we age, our skin doesn't turn over. You should be using your retinol, your vitamin A.
Yes.
You sun like I'll never forget when I started working for Allergan, they had bought Skin Medica, and one of the doctors said, I use TNS serum on this hand, but not on this hand. And it looked like a 10-year age difference in the hand.
What?
Yes. So I
I
never stopped using that cream. I use it every day for the last 15 years.
The serum, correct?
The serum, one of
Dipping
the
into,
serums.
and you can put it under your eye too.
Hmm.
So, because I saw somebody put say something about that. Skin Medic is a great company, but
It is.
I didn't like their TNS eye cream. I didn't think
Well,
it
you don't
did
have to. And then
anything.
the other thing that's
That
new
one,
right
if that one
now.
works, I'm gonna get it for sure.
Well, it depends on which eye cream you like. If you don't love the TNS eye cream, there's other eye creams out there. So for right now, one of my big things that I'm doing, and I'm working for is that I'm promoting exosomes for topical use. So have you heard of what an exosome is?
I've heard of the word, but I don't know exactly what it is.
So an exosome is basically the ones that I work with that I promote to my physicians. It's the youngest cell possible. It's derived from a placental tissue. So they took a scheduled C-section and they take that one cell, and the company that I work with, which is Chimera, they took they made it a one cell bank. So after the RF microneedling, after any ablative lasers, you want to then put the exosomes on because those are the youngest possible little kind of, good do-gooders for your skin that go into your microchannels. And they say, oh, we have the good stuff on our back. Say bye to the bad stuff. Here's like, they have like a big heart. Oh, let me help you with your collagen. Let me help you with let me
Yeah.
help you with your elastin. Let me help you all over. And that's really what I think right now is the hottest thing right now is topical exosomes with ablative, whatever laser you're doing, is really what, I mean, I'm getting mine, I think this week also. Those are expensive.
So jealous of you. I'm
You
like,
can
what should
come
I
be my
do?
friend for the day at work.
I will. I will come in. I will be like, you'd be like, this is my test dummy. She went to tanning beds when she was a little girl in high school.
Well, tanning beds are probably the worst thing you could do.
I haven't been in 20 plus years, but
But you look great.
damage is still there. What can you do? But I do. I've kept up. I've done Vivace. I did Clear and Brilliant. I
Your
just
brilliant's lovely.
microneedling. I just or Morpheus, and then last week I did like a growth factor. Like it was like a stamp, but it was like a vibrating thing, and they just like punched you in
But
the face.
it's called like aqua gold and they like just stamp in. You could
Well,
do that with
no, it was
exosomes
like a
too.
machine and it just like went and she would just like, I mean, I thought it was great, but my main concern is like my under eye area. And I think I have to do CO2 in the fall for that.
Or you can do RF microneedling with exosomes.
Oh, that's
Remember that
true.
little young cell that one, and you could
So
do
the
the RF
exosomes makes all the
microneedling.
difference.
It's what's hot right now.
Oh, okay.
All of the more experienced doctors are using exosomes with a lot of combination treatments.
It's so crazy, all the stuff that people can do. So if I ever consider lip filler, I should probably go to a doctor's office, like a
I would
dermatologist, if
say,
I
I
wanted
would
that
say,
natural.
right. But your lips look great. I mean, I always say if you want your lips to look good, be realistic. We're not going to take a thin lip and make yourself look like Kim Kardashian. It's not going to look good on you.
No.
Right. So be realistic in what you're expecting the doctor to achieve. Like you're just going to get your lip but a little bit plumper
Yeah.
versus, your lip that's like small and then you're going to try to look like Kim, but she has full lips to begin with. So her lip filler makes them look fuller.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. So it's like you want to look like you, but better. That's what we
That's
need
what
to
I
get back
always
to.
say.
You,
It's
but
you but
better.
better.
But problem is people are like, I want to look like this. And it was like, but that doesn't look normal. No, this
Well,
is so
then you get the people that don't take no for an answer and they say, I want more, I want more, I want more. I
no.
mean, look at Michael Jackson with his nose. He should have had like one surgery. He had like five. No one would tell him no. So you
I
need to
think,
go to a doctor that knows the line and says, you
yeah,
look natural. We're not injecting anymore.
right. I think it was, what's it called? Body dysmorphia. It's like a disorder. It's
Yes,
an actual disorder.
it is. I do have a degree in psych. It's body dysmorphia disorder.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
and,
think,
and they have it.
yeah, I think all of us have it to some slight degree.
Totally.
I don't know one girl who's like, my body's perfect and I'm amazing, but yet most of my friends look freaking phenomenal.
Right.
So
But I
everybody's
think they
got it to
also
some,
take care of themselves, right?
yeah,
Body dysmorphia is like you're going in and like you're going in to get your lips done, but you have like your acne is like out of this control. And you're like, but it's my lips, but you're missing something. It's actually your acne that needs to be treated.
yeah. No,
You know what I mean?
it's so true. So, let's talk about under eye filler because that seems to be a weird area because some people will do it and other people won't do it. It's like a weird thing. Is it beneficial or is it better to just save your money and pop out the damn eye bags?
You mean I always have this. It depends on the injector and it depends on how your eyes are kind of coming to the surface. Like if you have a big fat ball right here underneath your lid, just putting under eye filler is not going to mask it. You're going to need a lower bleph. And
Yeah,
on my beauty advisors group, I also consult for surgeries. So we can tell, okay, you're a good candidate for under eye filler, or maybe you're a better candidate for surgery. Like I just, had dinner with a friend. I was like, listen, I wouldn't do under eye filler if I were you. I would do your upper and your lower bleph because that's what's going to give you the most bang for your buck. You want to get rid of the bag.
yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
And does that help with the wrinkles too?
Yes. They take a little bit and they just kind of think about it like pinching the skin a little bit.
Does it hurt?
It is a surgery,
How long's the downtime?
maybe a week.
And you're really there's no cut, right? Because they cut in
They
inside your
do.
ball.
They cut it and they sew it right at the eyelash line.
Oh my gosh. But
You're out. You don't know what's going
oh, I was like, oh.
you could be Twilight, you could be sedated, like
And then they
fine.
just pop it out and then does it hurt? Like does the recovery hurt?
Well, it's a surgery, so you're going to have to take
Yeah.
painkillers and stay on top of them. But at the end of the day, your skin's going to look really good and your face is going to look good. There comes a time where you can't really mix under eye filler and then go to a bleph. It's kind of one or the other.
Yeah. Because I was kind of thinking about that in the future. Like maybe in a couple of years I'll do that because I have like just a
But people
little
are
on the
always
side.
thinking in a couple years. I'm like, well, what about now? I think your under eyes look great.
Yeah, I'm sure they look fine. I'm a little bit of a
Like, I just took
perfectionist.
out under eye filler and I think I'm going to leave it out.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense. I went to this open house for some skin place in Colorado, and you could walk around to these different rooms, and they would have like different things being scheduled. So like under eye filler, lip filler, and you could come in and like watch these people get shit done. And
Well,
it was
that's what I've done that a lot in the city is have like little different stations, like during a patient event, like if they can see what like
oh,
putting
yeah.
filler in the cheeks looks like, they can see, what it looks like in the lips. So it's nice. It's nice to have somebody like that is really knowledgeable on all things. And it's great to go to those types of events. And I'll probably have some online events on my new website. It's just so you can see the procedure, because I think when people see the procedure, they realize like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like lip filler is not, you're not gonna like, lose sleep over it, but you're gonna see a great result.
And how long do people swell? Can you tell I'm thinking about it? I have a lot of questions.
Well, I think that there's some fillers that have more HA concentration and there's some that don't. So different fillers swell differently.
So what is a good one that's going to give you a natural but bigger pout?
I really think that it depends on like, I worked for Allergan for a long time, so I'm kind of, jaded on that one. I personally love Juvederm, but they have Bobella, they've got Juvederm Ultra. There's other companies have like Wrestle and Kiss, like those, they're all different. But I think the most important thing is how much experience the doctor has had with each one.
Okay, gotcha. So all of them
If
are
you
kind
want
of,
to go to someone that really is a good injector, that means that they're injecting more than once a week.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You
No,
want to
that's
go to someone that's like, this is part of their business.
yeah, they're just cranking them out all day long.
Yes.
Um, okay, no, I love this. So how do people find you to be able to get in-depth consultation so they can make sure they're not going to fuck up their face?
So I'm launching my beauty advisors group, and there'll be a schedule, or they can just email me through that. It should be up and live and running in about a week. And
Okay.
then they can just email me for an appointment and we can do a virtual consultation. We can go over everything that bothers them. The nice thing about working with me is that I also have been working with the best doctors for the last 15 plus years. So
Yeah.
I know it's one thing to go to a new injector. It's like going to a new hairstylist. You don't know what's going on.
You're
But
nervous.
I've personally vetted all of these doctors for the last 15 years. If I haven't
Oh,
gotten a procedure by them, I know at least 5 people that have. And if it wasn't the procedure, like I've never gotten a breast aug just because I don't need one. But I have 50, 100, 200 friends that have had them. So I know which doctors will give you those great results. And I know which doctors are, good for your personality type. There's doctors that are very straightforward, not a lot of, chit chat.
yeah.
And then there's those doctors that are like warm and but fuzzy, and they want to make you feel comfortable, like you're part of their family. And other doctors just want to go in there and do their work and you be happy with that. So I have a nice way of pairing the patient to the provider.
I like that. And do you have access to people all over the country?
Yes. And I actually, even over the world, I actually, for about a year, I lived in Japan and I launched Botox in Japan.
Oh, no way. That's crazy.
It
Who
was
do you have
crazy.
good people in Denver?
If I don't know someone, I know someone that does.
Mm, it's I mean it's such a cool concept because I don't care who you are, everybody wants to look good. If you look good, you feel good.
Everybody.
And it's been proven that if you look better, you make more money. So why not give yourself a financial advantage to make more money, have more
I
opportunity,
agree.
do what you can do because it's just proven. Don't hate the messenger. These are just the facts.
And it's also shown that people that have had Botox have less depression because they're unable to make that angry frown line. So there's been
Interesting.
studies that show that. Now I'm not promoting it for depression, but it makes sense that if you're looking in the mirror, you look good, you feel good, you're not able to make that angry face. So and I have a degree in psychology, if you're not making that angry kind of face in the mirror and putting your eyes together for that scowling,
Yeah.
you're not able to make that face. So it's a lot of behavior modification with that as well, if you think about it.
Yeah. No, I like that. And then this is my last question, then we're gonna have to wrap up, but when do you get Botox fatigue? Meaning not you, but your face. Meaning that it's not gonna last anymore. Like people go too soon. Like I've had people tell me like never go, even if it wears off, never go before 3 or 4 months.
Well, I don't know about never going because first of all, Botox isn't just for here. You can put Botox in many different places. You could put it in your neck, you could put it on for TMJ, you could put it, even in your chin. So there's a lot of places for Botox. If we're talking about is there Botox fatigue? No, not really, because
Okay.
what's happened is over time you'll probably end up using less Botox because you're if you think about it as a piece of paper, if you're constantly folding that piece of paper, that
Yeah.
crease is getting stronger. But if you're not folding it, then the crease is going away.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, right? You can't make a
So
wrinkle
if you have a
look
nice
straight
clean
again.
sheet of paper, you're
Yeah.
not going to start, you're never going to go back to baseline because you have been uncreasing your wrinkles for 10 plus years.
Yeah. No, I love it. And do you think that this stuff will ever get more affordable?
I mean, I think that there's a lot of different doctors that do want patients to make it affordable. I mean, is it, I look at it as how much you pay for your hair.
Depends on who you go to.
Exactly. That's very true. And, different doctors have different price points and different doctors charge more. So
Yeah.
I think it's all about doing your research on the doctor, making sure they're using the product that you want, ask them to show you the vial, have them show you the syringe, be part of the process with the doctor or the nurse practitioner or whoever is doing your injections, because those are going to be the ones that know and can answer all your questions. And of course, go to a doctor that has been doing this for a long time and has a following, meaning they're showing their before and afters on Instagram. They're showing lip pictures. They're
Yeah.
showing chin pictures. They're showing, I'm big into the cheek. I think that if you lift the cheek, you can lose a lot of the under eye bag. It lifts the face. There's a lot of good things for that one area. You have great cheeks.
Yeah, these are natural. I
Also,
was thinking like maybe I should put a little just to make them more,
yeah.
but I
I
would
would
just need just
agree.
a
But
little.
like a
Very
little, not like a
hard.
half a syringe on each and like right here at the apex of the cheek. Because if
Yeah.
you're worried about this,
Yeah,
if you
I
think
am.
about it, if you put it up a little bit, this is going to be more taut.
Yeah. No, that's true. That is
You
true.
just got a free virtual consultation.
So I guess I'm gonna need a little here, a little here, a little here, and then hopefully I'm good until I
You're
see
coming to
any
New York
kind
in what? Less than a month?
Yes, exactly.
Well, well,
Exactly.
maybe we'll do a follow-up show after.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, guys, here's my face. I'm not all natural anymore. Just kidding. I'm 40. I'm allowed to do
You
these
look
things.
amazing. I'm not even
Oh,
going to
well,
say my
thank you.
age.
Thank you. Well, I have a ring light to make, so it's because I'm in like a dungeon, so we're not backlit. So I have to have a
Oh,
ring
got it.
light.
Yeah,
Or I
I
look
missed
so
the
pale.
whole, I didn't order the lights on time and all that stuff.
Well,
So
you
I'm
still look
kind of,
fabulous. You
well,
you
thank
are
you.
good to go. Okay, so you guys go and check out Beauty Advisors
Yep,
Group.com with Jodi Schwartz and figure out the right doctor so you guys all look better and not like a cartoon.
exactly.
Remember, you look good, you feel good. It's all about happier, healthier, or wealthier. And looking good can do immense things to how you feel and how if you feel good, your health is better and you make more money. So, yeah, go
I
check it out.
agree.
It's going to be great. Well, thank you so much, Jodi. And thanks to everybody who's listening, wherever you may be. We'll see you next time to find out who's next.
Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@nexttomadison.com. I thank you again for listening. Bye.